Man was mocked for his inheritance, but what he found surprised everyone. After their father's passing, Arthur and his siblings gathered to receive their inheritance. His siblings laughed as they each received $50,000, while Arthur was given a single key to an old storage unit. They mocked his junk inheritance, but Arthur felt it carried meaning. Determined to understand his father's choice, he went to the storage unit with his siblings following him. The storage unit was packed with old furniture, dusty boxes, and antique items. His siblings kept laughing, calling it useless junk. Then he found a chest labeled with his name. Inside were black and white photos of his father's younger years, revealing a wealthy and elegant life Arthur had never known about. Beneath the photos was a letter addressed to Arthur, urging him to visit an address. Arthur left quietly, unaware his siblings were following him. When he arrived at the location, he could not believe his eyes. There stood an enormous mansion, grand and imposing, with an air of mystery surrounding it. Inside, the home was breathtakingly luxurious. The rooms were filled with fine furniture, each piece carefully crafted and elegant. Grand chandeliers hung from the ceilings, their crystals reflecting soft light across the polished floors. Walls lined with bookshelves brimmed with old leather-bound volumes that seemed to hold stories of their own. As Arthur explored, he felt a mix of awe and confusion. This was nothing like the modest life his family had known. Then, in the main living room, he froze. Above the grand fireplace was a large portrait. It showed his father as a young man, dressed in formal attire and surrounded by well-dressed people. His father looked different, wealthy, confident, and out of place compared to the hard-working carpenter Arthur had grown up with. Arthur stared at the painting, trying to reconcile this version of his father with the man he knew. Not long after, his siblings arrived, their earlier mockery fading as they took in the mansion's grandeur. They were equally shocked by the elegance of the home and the clues it held about their father's past. In the dining room, they found a letter placed on the long, polished table. Arthur read it aloud as his siblings listened in stunned silence. The letter revealed that their father had been born into immense wealth. His family had lived a privileged life, disconnected from the struggles of ordinary people. But their father had grown disillusioned with this life of luxury. He rejected the elitism of his upbringing, choosing instead to embrace humility and hard work. He left behind the wealth and the mansion to create a life rooted in purpose and values. The letter also explained why the mansion had been left to Arthur. Their father believed Arthur, unlike his siblings, would appreciate the lesson behind his decision and use the inheritance wisely. Deeply moved, Arthur decided to sell the mansion. The money, he felt, could do far more good in the community than sitting unused in his hands.